If you've been following along, then you know we were last seen exploring the area around California's Alabama hills. Well, now it's April 2nd, and we are leaving the cool desert climate of Lone Pine, California, east of the Sierra Nevada mountains, and driving south and west toward the coast, where we will explore several sites along the rugged shoreline. We are getting ready to walk out and see some seals, hopefully.
I'm going to try and see some seals.
This is the stunning Pacific coast of California. In the next few minutes, we are going to share raging seas, an incredible number of elephant seals, and the unbelievable Hearst Castle, an historic estate built between 1919 and 1947 by newspaper mogul William Randolph Hearst and architect Julia Morgan. From there, we will examine tide pools teeming with sea creatures, and we can't wait to show you the amazing and somewhat hidden Glass Beach. But before we make it to the coast, we have a few chores that need our attention.
Finally getting this dirty thing washed. It's about time.
That's right, this is the first time we've hand washed it since we've been on the road. We did one of the spray off places once, but that's it. But we're at a nice RV park that said we could wash it. And so that's what we're doing. It's a big job though.
Well, that went pretty well, actually. Looking much better. So tonight we're staying at an RV park that is also what is it, orange grove. Orange grove. I started to say orange orchard, but it's an orange grove. So anyhow, we're allowed to collect some oranges, so we're out here harvesting a few oranges with an awning pole. All right, which one are you after?
I think I'm going to try and get that one.
Oh.
It's a little bruised, but I think it's okay. It's probably enough, huh?
Yeah, I think that's probably more than enough.
I don't want to be wasteful, but it's fun to pick them. It's nice to have a clean camper and a clean truck.
Yeah, very
and
nice.
We got all the laundry done, so we have clean clothes too.
Yeah, we got a lot done today. We've been working really hard. It's been a very busy day. So tell me about this orange fresh off the tree.
It is the juiciest orange I've ever eaten. I mean, I'm making a mess of myself trying to eat it, but it is delicious.
Looks pretty juicy.
It's delicious. Back on the road, heading west through central California, where the landscape is ever-changing. We travel past a crazy amount of oil derricks, followed closely by a solar farm. And maybe you already knew this, but we are surprised at how agricultural the area is. After so much time spent recently in the desert, though, our favorite landscape has to be the rolling green hills. It has been a long time since we've seen grass. We are getting ready to turn onto the one.
Continue on California 1 north for 7 miles.
There we are, we're on the one. We made it to the coast. The first of our coastal destinations is Hearst Simeon State Park, just north of the town of Cambria. This park is most famous for being the home to Hearst Castle, but before we get to that, let's visit with a few friends. These are elephant seals, and since the males are all currently out to sea, the ones we see here are females and babies or adolescents. These females weigh between 900 and 1,800 pounds, while fully grown males top out between 4,000 and 5,000 pounds. We can't even imagine.
They are awesome. There's so many of them.
They're incredibly lazy.
Yeah, they don't move a lot.
Thank you. Thanks again, Caitlin. Great job.
George Hearst knew California's landscape well, having traveled west as a miner from Missouri in the 1850s looking for gold. Mr. Hearst filled these pastures with his exotic zoo animals. In his day, guests traveling this road would have passed by antelopes, yaks, giraffes, llamas, water buffalo, bison, and more than 100 other species.
Known originally as La Cuesta Encantada, or the Enchanted Hill, construction began on Hearst Castle in 1919 and was always a work in progress, never completed, even in 1947 when William Randolph Hearst moved away due to declining health. Despite its perpetual construction, the estate saw unparalleled parties and a revolving door of guests from notable world leaders like Winston Churchill and Calvin Coolidge to some of the period's most popular entertainers such as Clark Gable and Cary Grant. In its heyday, the estate itself contained the main house, or Casa Grande, multiple guest houses, 2 swimming pools, lavish gardens, and the world's largest private zoo. Some might argue that as extravagant and amazing as the grounds and buildings are, though, that the art collection contained within is even more impressive. Hearst surrounded himself with thousands of works of art in all mediums and from all around the world, some dating back as far as 1550 BC. Wandering through the buildings and around the grounds now is certainly interesting and awe-inspiring, but we can't help but imagine what it might have been like to be one of the esteemed guests in the 1920s or 30s when everything was fresh and new, and all the amenities of the castle were just waiting to be used and enjoyed. What a time that must have been.
We have hiked down here by the coast to see all the tide pools. It's low tide, it's close to low tide anyway right now. And there are tide pools everywhere. We've already seen some sea urchins and some sea snails and lots of mussels. And we'll see what else we can find.
The rocky coast of California lends itself perfectly to the formation of tide pools. It is so fun to scramble around on the rocks looking for the next hidden pool to discover what sea creatures are contained within.
Kind of suctiony.
See anything?
Some anemones. I can't. Anemones.
What'd you see?
I think they're anemones. I think I'm mispronouncing the word. I know I've mispronounced it at least once because I've said it 2 different ways. I don't know.
So for lunch, we are frying up some bacon out here on the old camp stove. Thank you, Uncle Rich and Aunt Sally. Getting some good use out of it. And we're going to cook up some kohlrabi greens. This will be our first time trying kohlrabi greens. So we're cooking that up with some steak and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. So it should be a pretty good meal. We got the bacon fried up. Now we got the kohlrabi greens cooking. And here in a minute, we'll put it all together. The greens are about cooked. Nice and wilted. Got our steak started. Looking really good. And of course, no steak and meal of kohlrabi greens would be complete without a Mammoth Brewing Company beer from Mammoth Lakes, California. You gotta have the I like pig butts and I cannot lie koozie on it. How about that? And there's the finished product. How is it?
I'm on the fence about the greens. They're kind of chewy. But, I mean, they taste good. It's just a texture issue.
So we're on kind of one of the less popular portions of Glass Beach. And this is Glass Beach right on the Pacific here. and apparently it was an old trash site or a dump site for the town of Fort Bragg. And I think they used it all the way up to 1959, and then they attempted to clean it up some, pick out the biggest portion of the trash, and kind of what's left for the most part is just a lot of leftover glass that the ocean has pounded into kind of rounded edged polished pieces of glass. So it's really neat. A lot of the beach has been picked over, so there's not a lot of glass left on it, but we found kind of a bit of a hidden area, and it seems to be a lot better as far as the amount of colorful glass here.
Oh goodness, look at all this glass. It's a lot of glass.
Yeah, this is a much better spot.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can just, this is where you can just reach down and get whole handfuls. Most of that's glass. There's a few little rocks, but wow, that's amazing. So the glass at Glass Beach is beautiful, but the ugly side is that this was a trash dump. This is not how it's supposed to look. And you can see bits of garbage everywhere. I mean, as far as metal and, you know, it's all been twisted up and rusty and kind of almost looks like rocks at this point, but this is not how this beach was supposed to look. So it's a little bit sad, but we can still enjoy the beautiful glass. Getting down to the best area of Glass Beach is a little bit tricky, and we're not going to tell you exactly how to do it because half the fun is found in your way. But we'll let you kind of look around and infer what you can infer from here. What's the problem here?
The fridge cooling fan seems to be acting a little flaky. So we're giving it a good cleaning and general inspection and put it back together and hope for the best.
The fridge is still working though. It's just this auxiliary fan that we added to keep the compressors cooler. So at least nothing is terribly wrong. Let me guess, that's a homemade bracket to mount it.
Sure is. Entire homemade design.
Jeff is the king of the homemade bracket. He's always got to be making a bracket for something. It's time for now to say goodbye to the Pacific and head toward our next California destination, and it's going to be a big one. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. First though, we prepare. You didn't think RVing was all fun and games, did you?
Well, it looks like the laundry room's been a busy place today. How many loads have you done?
I don't know. I've lost count.
Is your arm getting sore?
Yes, very. I'm hot. It's 87 degrees.
Just for the record, I've opted several times to do the cranking, but she says no. Well, what did it take us, like an hour?
It was a long time.
And we got one on. What a learning experience.
You've never done that before?
If you got just a little bit of twist in the chain, it shortens it just enough where it just won't latch.
And these tires make it really difficult. They're big all-terrain tread tires, so the chain wants to lie in the grooves between the tread and makes it really tough to maneuver the chain outside the groove if you need to. We got one on, we'll try the other one there. Well, and after a few more minutes of wrestling, here's the final product. So we got the tensioners on there now. Should be ready to go.